What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nisi coming back with another bullseye of a video here today on the channel. We're gonna be doing a tiers list, talking about the best AI plugins and how I feel about AI in general and how you can use it, to get the best possible tracks. Okay, so if you guys do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know what other tiers list video I should make, maybe about microphones, speakers, certain types of plugins. Let me know down below, okay? And also let me know how you guys feel about the list. So let's get to it right now. So the first tier that we have is going to be mix and master. These are like the best AI plugins that always end up on the mix and master. Then you got rough mix, which is stuff that ends up on the demo right after you record it. You feel me? That first rough bounce. Then you have vocal template. Now, vocal template is the AI plugins that are good enough to just be on the vocal template, but you might change it after you're done recording and want to mix. Then you got debatable, which is the plugins you don't really use. And at the bottom, you got delete. All right, so I don't have that many plugins. There's, AI is really good, but there's not really that many AI plugins, right? And a lot of them, at times, they're kind of redundant, you know? So let's just go over the ones that I like. So the first AI plugin, definitely we're gonna have to put it on Soothe. Now, some of them that might necessarily say AI if you go to the website, but they'll say adaptive processor. So I don't have that many, so I'm actually gonna be talking about them. And Soothe, what do you guys think about Soothe? Do you think that Soothe is an overrated plugin? Is it underrated? Do you like Golf Foss better than Soothe? Me personally, I love the Soothe plugin because of all the dope, things that you can do with it. Not only just deharshing, but there's other things you can do, such as side chaining it and creating space. There's a great way of side chaining the kick and the bass together using Soothe to get like a really clean side chain, like how Jason Joshua does it. Sometimes I also like to side chain my lead vocal to I route my reverb, my delay all to one bus called the all effects bus. Then I put a Soothe on it and I sidechain that to the lead vocal. So every time the lead vocal is playing, it's kind of ducking out all the redundant frequencies in the reverb and the delay that can start to add up, kind of like a bucket, like crabs in a bucket starting to add up. And it's kind of just pulling down the vocal because they're all competing for the same space. So that's what I like about Soothe. Another great thing about Soothe too is that you can kind of use it to shape the texture of things. When you play around with the sharpness, from the sharpness to like making something kind of like round, or like, when you have like, that the super prickly, setting. So I think that's another great way of using the Soothe, is to also create texture, making something feel more jagged, like maybe hi-hats or something. If I wanted to feel more round, I'll adjust the shape of how it's doing the resonance. I think Soothe is a wonderful plugin, and it's actually one of the first plugins that was really like pushing like, okay, the adaptive processing AI stuff. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like to use Golf Foss, or you like to use Soothe better? Which one do you guys own? I also like to use Ozone Stabilizer. Now, this is the whole entire Ozone processing. Ozone Stabilizer is dope because it has upwards processing, where Soothe, it only cuts, it doesn't boost up the good frequencies. So that's what I like about Ozone. And I know with Ozone too, it was also one of those first mastering suite plugins that kind of pushed AI, because it has the auto listen. It has the auto listen function where you put your song through it and it will listen, and it will give you like some determined settings. Now, that's the thing about AI. I don't want no robot mixing my music, but for sure, like, I like to, put it in Ozone and let it give me an idea. Let it be like that second buddy or that assistant engineer in the room that's kind of telling me like, oh, hey, you got too much mid-range, you got too much whatever. You feel me? Let it be like that friend that's that's got my back. So that's kind of how I like to use the Ozone Master Assist. And if you don't know how to master for shit, I think it's a good tool. You slap it on real quick, just so you could hear what your song would sound like if it had some stuff, and maybe you dial back the settings a little bit. So Ozone Stabilizer is great. Another great kind of like AI model plugin too is, for me, is Ozone Clarity, as well as the low end focus. I'm not sure if that's necessarily AI, but I also know that they're adaptive processors, so that's kind of what this is about, using adaptive processors to get like a clean sound. Neoverb, I never really liked that reverb. I don't think it makes sense to have an AI reverb type of plugin. I don't see like what is the benefits of that, and like an AI reverb. Like, if you need AI to set up a reverb for you, like, you have taste issues. You feel me? Because like you just set up the reverb how you imagine the space in the song to be. If you imagine the song to be very intimate and upfront, you'd have a shorter reverb, you know, understanding the fundamentals of reverb. If you want things to be epic and blown up out of proportions like an Airheads, you feel me, candy or a super strawberries, you know how when people put like that Sour Patch Kids in their mouth and they face just gets exaggerated. If you want something to be exaggerated, use a bigger reverb. You know, maybe use a flanger or something like that, or a phaser to spice up your reverb. But all means you don't need a AI reverb plugin, but it's still cool to have it. You know, maybe you just run it through the Neoverb, you let it listen to your vocal, and then now it suggests maybe like a certain type of reverb setting you would have never did by yourself. So I think that's a great way to use AIs to shake things up a little bit, you know, shake them up like a milkshake type stuff. After that, you know, when it comes to noise reduction plugins, you got Sweet Cvox. That's kind of like AI a little bit. I think it's adaptive processing, but almost like AI. But I know the waves, you know, the waves, what is it? The VX or something like that, Clarity. That's a great AI plugin. That's great for noise suppression. We done came a long way from having the NS1. What noise suppression plugins are you guys using nowadays? Because I usually like to use the C Suite Vox. That's what I use on all my YouTube videos. That's why the audio sounds good. But also on a real song, I might also like to use something like the Waves, you know, the Waves noise suppressor. Or I also like to use this plugin right here too, which is the IZOTOPE RX plugin, which is really dope. And they have like different things, you know, different noise suppression things, and you know, stripping silence, and you know, deplosive, depopping, like deharshing, but doing it using AI to still preserve the overall quality of the signal. So it just sounds smooth and natural and everything. It doesn't sound like a patch ripped off of something. So I think that's really good too, the AI capabilities of the RX isotope plugins. And that's why I have the Ozone subscription. I don't usually have subscriptions, but just for the RX stuff, I love using the isotope stuff, especially if you get a mix actually sent to you. Yeah, if you actually get a mix sent to you, or maybe you don't want to re-record something, it's great to have a plugin like that because it will allow you to get the most out of that vocal performance without just completely throwing it away. Like at a restaurant, you know, they don't like just throwing away the meat. They like to try to figure out if they can do something different with it. Or like the fruits, they don't want to just throw it away. They want to say, oh, maybe we could make a juice out of it. Little to no waste. Okay. When it comes to the Bloom, I like the Bloom from Oak Sound. I know that's another AI plugin too. I think it's a pretty good plugin. I just feel like it's not offering much more than Soothe. Like I know it's different because it has some upwards processing and downwards processing. It's multi-band and you can do some stereo with things with it. But I kind of just feel like if you kind of already have Soothe and you have this other plugin Spiff, that's really kind of all you need. Like you don't need some people like to use a Bloom if you have like a shitty microphone or using it on groups and stuff like that. But considering the price of the actual plugin, I think it's kind of expensive. And if you have Soothe, like you kind of already got, you know, what you want, you know, maybe you just use Soothe and you use something like a Waves MV2, or you use like a Ozone Clarity, or Ozone's, you know, something like that to do the upwards processing. You don't need the Oak Sound Bloom. Do you guys like that plugin? Because I used it for a month. It was cool, but it doesn't make that much of a difference for me to spend that much money on it. But that's how I like to use AI plugins though. I like to use them kind of like a French fries. I don't want the AI plugins to be my burger and be the reason why this shit tastes good or sound good. I just kind of want to use it as a side, you feel me? A sidekick, you know, like the Robin that will just come in there and maybe do some extra small incremental adjustments on certain things. Then we have the Sonable stuff. Sonable is pretty cool. You know, I like how they have like the smart clip. That's what I like. Stuff like that. Smart clip. They have a smart reverb, which I always think like smart, like you don't need a fucking AI reverb. So, you know, I always think that was gimmicky. They have the EQ. So, you know, I probably would put it in the rough mix category actually, because the EQ is like, it's pretty good. You know, it has many different curves for many different styles of genres. And that's what I like too, because it's very versatile. Maybe you're working on a rap record, but you want to maybe try the pop curve or something like that on the EQ, and it will give you that. It will, you know, maybe start off with your vocal and listen to it and then apply a curve. So, you know, it's good too for things like efficiency. You know what I mean? If you want to just get something quick while you're recording, you just boom, you use it. So I'll throw the Sonable stuff in rough mix specifically for the smart clip. That's my favorite one. And I think smart limit too. Um, when it comes to lander mastering, I've used it once, but I don't like the idea of like, AI mastering and stuff like that. I think it's very gimmicky. It's cool for people who don't know how to master, or if you do know how to master and you just want something fast, kind of like the Ozone stuff, right? Then you would use it. But my thing about it is the Ozone gives so much more. Like, the Nectar and, Neutron, the Ozone bundle has so much more stuff in terms of like offering AI stuff. And even the Ozone stuff too has so much more tools. Even the learn function on the Ozone mastering plugins is great if you're just trying to work quick and you're just trying to, you just get a quick sound, something that sounds really good. I think it's great. But for me, the lander mastering is like it won't make up for the fact that, if your mix is bad, AI mastering won't make up for something like that. It might just do the generic stuff like add a bunch of high end and add some lows or whatever, cut some lows, but it won't actually give the individual treatment and care to your song like how you would want an actual real mastering engineer to do. So down below, how do you guys feel about AI plugins? What do you guys use any of these plugins? Let me know down below. Want to say I thanks a lot. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check the links down below to support the channel. Appreciate y'all on our YouTube gang. Peace.